It was another year full of touching, shocking, incredible television. Spoilers incoming.
Mike! I found a chocolate bunny!
Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 TV moments of 2016.
Listen to your friend, Brandon.
For this list, we're focusing on the moments from fictional or hosted television that left the biggest impact on audiences in 2016. That means we're excluding live events covered on television like sports, news, or concert events. So, in case you haven't clued in, a huge spoiler alert is now in effect. Number 10. Prison All Along. Mr. Robot.
But sometimes, you need illusion to gain control.
The first season of Mr. Robot proved that no viewer should assume they know the answers. Nothing is what it seems, and you're bound to be surprised.
Communication is key, Elliot.
The second season validated that notion, as its 7th episode gave us one of the year's best twists. Up to this point, our only interactions with protagonist Elliot Alderson were dull affairs in confined, claustrophobic spaces. A small room, a basketball court, a diner. Meanwhile, the rest of the cast had been busy fighting off a crippling worldwide hack. The show's dynamics just didn't make sense, until it was revealed that Elliot was, in fact, in prison. This stunning revelation opened up a world of questions, and reminded fans to always question what they see.
You know you haven't been staying with your mother, right?
I know.
Number 9. Make Donald Trump again. Last Week Tonight with John Oliver.
Because it turns out the name Trump was not always his family's name. One biographer found that a prescient ancestor had changed it from, and this is true, Drumpf. Yes. Drumpf.
A comedy series is an unlikely source of journalistic greatness, but John Oliver and his Last Week Tonight team have the unique ability to critically inform while maintaining excellent comedy standards. While it was great when it rained raisins, Oliver's best moment came when he gave America one of the most painfully enlightening yet horrifyingly funny reports on then primary candidate Donald Trump and his tiny hands.
It's the sound of a bottle of store-brand root beer falling off the shelf in a gas station mini-mart.
In a scathing 20-minute indictment, Oliver took the internet by storm, revealing that Trump's ancestral last name is actually Drumpf. He then implored his fans and the country to make Donald Trump again, believing that the guttural last name better reflects the Donald and what he's like on the inside.
We've actually filed paperwork to trademark the name Trump. And incidentally, when we own it, I will have the best word.
Number 8. Poussey's death. Orange is the New Black.
Hey, should we call for backup?
A show that walks the tightrope between comedy and drama, Orange is the New Black brought fans to tears when it killed off one of its most beloved characters. Caught in a prison demonstration, Suzanne Crazy Eyes Warren begins panicking, becoming uncontrollable, and completely losing her faculties. When she sees a prison guard restraining Crazy Eyes, Poussey tries to get the guard to let her calm Suzanne down. But in an instant, it's Poussey who's on the ground, trapped beneath the weight of the guard. As things unfold around them, Suzanne violently attacks the guard. But Poussey is left helpless, and tragically, she eventually dies. It's an undeniably raw, powerful, and all too real moment. Number 7. Dre explains police brutality. Blackish.
Well, I will be in my room doing my Spanish homework before my teacher tases me.
What? Excuse me, baby. That is not funny. And no, this is important. We're all gonna sit and watch it together.
Though at its core a sitcom, Blackish assumed a far more powerful tone when it chose not to shy away from the real-world problems of 2016 by addressing police brutality towards the Black community. In an argument with his wife over what to teach their children regarding police interactions, Anthony Anderson's Dre passionately illuminates a painful reality of being Black in America.
Remember when he got elected? And we felt like maybe, just maybe, We got out of that bad place and made it to a good place.
Citing the delicate hope that permeated the African-American community after Barack Obama's election in 2008, Dre holds back tears as he explains to his wife that their children must know that they live in a world that is constantly trying to steal that hope away.
That is the real world, Bo. And our children need to know that that's the world that they live in.
Number 6, Frank gets shot. House of Cards.
Put your hand up on the wall.
Sir?
Put it on the wall.
After a criticized 3rd season, House of Cards returned with a bang for season 4. Audiences were stunned when, midway through the season, former investigative reporter and Underwood victim Lucas Goodwin shot Frank in an assassination attempt.
I came out here to try to listen to what you want to say, but if all you're going to do is scream...
It's a complete shock to audiences and everyone around President Underwood, and the scene turns chaotic in an instant, flipping the season on its head. With Frank subsequently in a coma, Claire suddenly has a platform to influence again at the executive level. But of course, in addition to those major turns of events, viewers also had to suffer the tragic loss of Frank's loyal Secret Service agent, Edward Meacham.
There has been an attempted assassination of the president. President Frank Underwood has been shot.
Number 5, 11 kills the Demogorgon. Stranger Things.
11, stop!
Set in the 80s with the style and pace of a Spielberg movie, Stranger Things is full of human experimentation, horror, and a parallel world. We're willing to bet that a lot of you guys went just as gaga over it as we did, and rightfully so. Although the show was full of ego-tastic moments, 11 defeating the Demogorgon was definitely the highlight. The show's supernatural hero, the mysterious 11, or Elle, says goodbye to her best friend Mike before sacrificing herself to destroy the terrifying monster, overcoming her fears and saving the group. The season 1 finale manages to give audiences satisfaction and closure, while leaving the mystery open for what's to come. Number 4, what door? Westworld.
What's behind this door?
What door?
Created by Jonathan Nolan and Lisa Joy for HBO, this binge session waiting to happen has kept viewers in shock and awe since day one.
I know things will work out the way they're meant to.
As things progressed, we started to wonder which of the humans was going to be revealed as a host, but we were as surprised as Teresa to learn that it was the lovable and sympathetic Bernard Lowe.
What is this, Bernard?
Doesn't look like anything to me.
Unaware of his robotic status or even his motivation, Bernard lures his one-time lady friend into a deadly trap, set by Westworld demigod and creator Robert Ford. By the end of this scene, we're not only struggling with the fact that Bernard is a host, but Teresa's death and the reveal of Ford as a true villain also have us questioning the nature of our reality.
We should be getting back, Bernard. We have a great deal of work to do on the new storylines.
Number 3, Marsha's Breakdown, American Crime Story.
God damn, who turned her into Rick James?
2016 saw the debut of FX's much-hyped crime anthology series, with the premiere season covering the trial of the century, The People vs. O.J. Simpson. Although the series was chock full of great performances, including those from Cuba Gooding Jr., John Travolta, and David Schwimmer, one of the year's most incredible acting displays was Sarah Paulson's portrayal of Marcia Clark.
I am offended by Mr. Cochran's remarks as a woman and as a mother.
In the show's 6th episode, Paulson was tasked with capturing Marcia's complete breakdown after being ridiculed both in court and in the media. Unfairly targeted and vilified for little more than a haircut, Paulson creates a moving depiction of a person buried underneath the weight of the world.
I'm not a public personality. This isn't what I do. I don't know how to do this.
Number 2, Ramsay Bolton is defeated. Game of Thrones.
You suggested one-on-one combat, didn't you?
Sometimes on Game of Thrones, a beloved character dies, and we collectively mourn.
Order! Order!
Sometimes a beloved character comes back to life and we collectively cheer. And sometimes a character so despised gets his comeuppance that we collectively yell, "Suck it." It's hard to nail down a single moment from the penultimate episode of Season 6, as the episode is mainly comprised of one of the best battle sequences ever. A sequence we can mark as the moment television equaled cinema's ability to create massive, awe-inspiring spectacles. But of course, the sweetest moment of all was when the Northern Bastards meet face to face, and there was no doubt that the good guys were finally going to earn a win. Before we unveil our #1 pick, here are some honorable mentions.
I doctored the copies. I paid the kid at the shop to lie for me. It is insane how you got every detail exactly right.
Harrison looks from the outside to be your average teenager. He goes to school, plays video games, even listens to music in his room. But there's one difference.
I'm a 35-year-old white man.
Harrison, born Antoine Smalls, has transracial identity, identifying as Harrison Booth, a 35-year-old white man from Colorado.
#1, Negan kills Glenn, The Walking Dead.
Back to it.
You can breathe, you can blink, you can cry. Hell, we were all doing that. Fans of the Walking Dead comic book have long awaited the arrival of its most brutal villain, Negan.
Pissing our pants yet?
Making his first appearance at the tail end of Season 6, Negan didn't really make his mark until the Season 7 premiere, when he started dispatching cast members faster than anyone was prepared for. Holding Rick's group hostage, Negan first kills Abraham.
You're all gonna be doing that.
That in itself was brutal. But what landed Negan on this list was what happened a few moments later, when he also murdered Glenn. In front of a bawling Maggie, Negan caves in Glenn's skull, leaving his wife and his fans horrified.
I'm just getting started.
Do you agree with our list?
I hate it.
I guess I hate it too.
What do you think were the best television moments of 2016?
I want to try to hear what it is that you disagree with me about.
For more unique top 10s published every day, be sure to subscribe to WatchMojo.com.
All memory of you will disappear. Switch your excitement levels to overdrive.
Home sweet home.
Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 trailers of November 2016.
You need to get people to rally behind your cause to separate you from the trolls.
And we need bots, and a lot of them to handle the data CTOS is processing.
But you can get followers to download the app, and we can use their processing power for the cause.
For this list, we've gathered together the best sneak peeks to hit our screens during the penultimate month of 2016.
Hit us home with proof.
Number 10, T2 Trainspotting, official trailer.
Hello, Mark. So what you been up to for 20 years?
Director Danny Boyle first floated the idea of a Trainspotting sequel in 2009, and fans of the film have craved a second fix ever since. T2 sees Mark Renton return to Scotland to patch things up with his friends, having left them in less than honorable circumstances the first time around. This trailer is a crazy concoction of all that we'd expect from a follow-up to the 1996 classic, with characters we last saw in the mid-90s thrust into the modern world. It's Spud, Sick Boy, Bagby, and Rent Boy all together again, in a kaleidoscope of hard substance abuse and psychedelic trips.
Choose your future. Choose life.
Choose this film. Number 9, Watch Dogs 2 launch trailer.
A few years ago, this broken-ass system marked me as a criminal risk, linked me to some shit I didn't even do because it was probable.
As the only gaming trailer to grab a spot on today's top 10, Ubisoft's Watch Dogs 2 had a lot riding on it, since gamers were slightly disappointed with the franchise's first entry.
What are we gonna do?
Aim bigger.
Inviting us to unleash our inner hacktivist once more. This trailer, which was released at the launch of the critically acclaimed new game, takes us to a San Francisco-inspired open world, where the data-grabbing, gun-toting possibilities are apparently endless. It's all about high-tech computers, cool characters, kick-ass weapons, and a killer soundtrack. Do you have what it takes to bring down the system?
I say together, we tear down the wall.
Number 8. Lemony Snicket's A Series of Unfortunate Events official trailer.
Your parents have perished in a terrible fire. Perished means killed.
Set for release on Netflix in mid-January 2017, this episodic reimagining of Lemony Snicket's famed children's saga could be an early contender for the wildest TV event of the year.
Really?
The surreal sneak peek sees the Baudelaires face much misfortune, leading them to encounter the abominable Count Olaf.
Hello, hello, hello.
And here's where this trailer really gets people talking, as Neil Patrick Harris superbly steps out from Jim Carrey's shadow as the eccentric antagonist.
Why do you hate us so much?
Because it's fun.
With what seems to be a stroke of genius casting choice, this series is set to be 8 episodes of awesomeness.
What do you say, Baudelaire? Are you in?
Number 7. Cars 3 teaser trailer. It may be less than a minute long, but the first teaser for Cars 3 lays down a dramatic marker for one of Pixar's most successful stories. The clip starts in expected fashion, with Lightning McQueen doing what he does best, racing. But then it all goes wrong. McQueen's rolling through midair, and cut to black. A less than typical trailer for a family-friendly animated movie, it finishes with the ominous promise, from this moment, everything will change. So rethink everything you thought you knew about Cars, because the third installment looks set to reconfigure the engines. Buckle up and enjoy the ride. Number 6. Ghost in the Shell trailer number 1.
This is Major. I'm on site.
The first look at Rupert Sanders' rendition of the famed Japanese manga Ghost in the Shell sees Scarlett Johansson step into the cyborg shoes of the Major, a futuristic cop hell-bent on stopping cyber attacks and catching hackers.
Words like violence break the silence.
While this trailer hasn't passed without controversy due to the casting of Johansson and other white actors in traditionally Asian roles, the big city sci-fi visuals are truly something to behold. Whether she's free-falling from skyscrapers or simply walking down the street, following the Major through her robotic, insanely well-rendered world is a cinematic treat.
They did not save your life. They stole it.
Number 5. Kong, Skull Island.
Is that a monkey?
As if the first trailer for the latest King Kong remake wasn't epic enough, trailer 2 for Kong Skull Island teases with yet more glimpses of one of cinema's most famous characters. It's crammed full with close-up shots of menacing eyes and the piercing sounds of predatory roars, all tied together with an obligatory chest pump or two. More so than trailer 1, this teaser takes a darkly comic stance to being caught up in the homeland of a deathly dangerous giant ape. A somewhat crazed John C. Reilly features heavily, with off-kilter jokes to break up an otherwise intense 2.5 minutes.
We're all gonna die together out here. You shouldn't have come here.
Number 4. La La Land, Dreamers trailer.
I just heard you play, and I wanted...
Emma Stone and Ryan Gosling pair up perfectly for the La La Land trailer, which could quite reasonably leave you waltzing down the aisles of your local movie theater. It's a clip bursting with romance, and yet this film looks to be far from the formulaic love story.
How are you going to be a revolutionary if you're such a traditionalist? You're holding on to the past, but jazz is about the future.
From the opening audition to the first big kiss, to the cute conversations and dreamy dance routines, it's almost impossible to take your eyes off the screen. As a trailer, it doesn't reveal too much about the story, but it does tell us everything about the tone. Prepare for a magical, musical, emotional slice of cinema. Number 3. Beauty and the Beast, official trailer. As one of the most critically acclaimed and universally adored Disney films, 1991's Beauty and the Beast is given a whole new live-action look for 2017, with Emma Watson and Dan Stevens in starring roles. For fans of the animated classic, this trailer is a long-awaited first look at a whole host of favorite characters, including Lumiere, Cogsworth, Mrs. Potts, and Chip, played by Ewan McGregor, Ian McKellen, Emma Thompson, and Nathan Mack respectively.
Hello, pleased to meet you.
With glimpses of famous scenes and a reintroduction of one of Disney's most recognizable soundtracks, it has left audiences appropriately spellbound. Number 2. Wonder Woman, official trailer.
What is your mission?
To stop the war.
What war?
The war to end all wars.
For what will be the 4th installment in the ever-expanding DC cinematic universe, the first look at Wonder Woman seems to have it all. We saw Gal Gadot kick butt in Batman vs. Superman, but now it's her turn in the spotlight.
Be careful, Diana.
This time, the famed demigoddess will be thrown into the bloody folds of World War I, with Chris Pine's fighter pilot character Steve Trevor for company. There's heaps of action, a satisfying helping of comedy, and a slight hint at romance too. Plus, a sensational slow-mo walk through a battlefield. It remains to be seen whether the film can live up to its wondrous billing, but this trailer ticks all the right boxes. Before we unveil our number 1 pick, here are some honorable mentions.
We're all going to hell.
Number 1. Silence, official trailer.
Our Lord said to them, "Go ye into the whole world and preach the gospel to every living creature."
With the award season fast approaching, today's winner is posed to make a massive impression at the Oscars, BAFTAs, and just about everywhere else. Directed by Martin Scorsese, and based on Shusaku Endo's novel of the same name, Silence sees Andrew Garfield and Adam Driver take center stage for a historical epic set in 17th century Japan.
The moment you set foot in that country, you step into high danger.
The pair plays Jesuit priests traveling to the country to relocate their mentor, in a trailer that makes for really quite uncomfortable viewing. Clearly, Garfield and Driver's journey is going to be far from easy, and this movie is going to demand attention. After this trailer, all eyes are on the late 2016 release date.
I pray, but I'm lost. Am I just praying to silence?
Do you agree with our list? Which trailer did we miss? For more must-see top 10s published every day, be sure to subscribe to WatchMojo.com.
Although I am not opposed to engaging in a bit of fisticuffs should the occasion arise.
This list doesn't look like anything to me.
Have you ever questioned the nature of your reality?
Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 Westworld moments.
Adios, mother.
For this list, we've ranked the top 10 moments from Westworld, which either shocked or thrilled audiences during its first season. So, if you haven't seen the show yet, then consider this to be your official spoiler alert.
Oh my God!
Number 10. Peter Abernathy malfunctions.
Doesn't look like anything to me.
But where is she? Have you ever seen anything like this place?
The malfunction of rancher and father Peter Abernathy is one of the first signs that something might be troubling the robot hosts of Westworld.
A question. A question you're not supposed to ask.
Abernathy's discovery of a photo on his property becomes an obsession, a feeling which results in memories beginning to surface within the host, those which imply that Peter hasn't always been the simple, loving father of Dolores Abernathy.
Hell is empty, and all the devils are here.
Although Abernathy is eventually decommissioned and placed into storage, his malfunction and increasing hostility when questioned by Dr. Ford implies that his backstories might not be all that pleasant.
I shall have such revenges on you. Both.
Number 9. Maeve has the power.
It's all a story created by you to keep me here. But that's not going to work any longer. I'm getting out.
Maeve's steady rise to power finally pays off in episode 8, Trace Decay. The former madam has spent much of her time manipulating and bullying engineers Felix and Sylvester to make adjustments to her code, with her sights set on writing her own destiny going forward.
Time to write my own f***ing story.
Upon receiving the final batch of modifications, she slits Sylvester's throat just to prove that she can, while also making her potential for an escape from Westworld all the more plausible. Now, with the means to control the narratives of other hosts, Maeve may even be able to contend with the park's founder himself, Robert Ford.
The marshals decided to practice their quick draws with each other.
Number 8. Ford's intimidation speech.
In here we were gods, and you were merely our guests.
If anyone saw Anthony Hopkins' character of Dr. Robert Ford as a relic from the past, Ford's true nature becomes crystal clear in the series' 4th episode, Dissonance Theory. During a lunch meeting with the park's senior manager, Teresa Cullen, what appears to be the rambling lamentation of a man well past his prime becomes a menacing threat.
As you well know, I have always seen things very clearly.
Teresa tries her best to put on a brave face, but Ford proves that he's in absolute control, with power only dwarfed by his omniscience.
I do hope he will be careful with Bernard. He has a sensitive disposition.
Number 7. Rogue host wakes up mid-beheading.
I can have a retrieval team out here in the morning.
It's policy. We just need the control unit.
The employees of Westworld are used to being able to turn their hosts on and off with a simple command. So when Elsie and Stubbs are sent by Bernard to decommission a stray host who's been wandering around the park, they're surprised by a couple of things, not the least of which are strange, off-narrative creations inside the host's tent. More alarming, however, is the fact that their host happens to wake up while Stubbs is attempting to recover the host's data, by cutting his head off.
Stubbs!
Even knowing the character being beheaded is a machine, this scene is still traumatizing, made even worse when the host inexplicably wakes up during the process. Number 6. Teddy Flood is gunned down by the Man in Black.
Winning doesn't mean anything unless someone else loses. Which means you're here to be the loser.
Fans of the 1973 film were meant to assume that the TV series' Man in Black was the robot killer from the original film. This scene in the show's first episode really threw them a curveball, however, as it's revealed that Ed Harris is in fact a human, while James Madsen's Teddy Flood is a host with a very tragic propensity towards death.
Seems you're not the man you thought you were.
This scene not only expands upon the fact that the park's hosts are locked in continual storyline loops, but also plays with the audience's expectations of Westworld the series versus Westworld the film, specifically making it clear to everyone that nothing will ever be quite as it seems.
Goddamn. Feels good to be back. Let's celebrate.
Number 5. Maeve finds her previous drawings. We've already mentioned how the Westworld hosts are designed to operate on storyline loops for the entertainment of the park guests. But what happens when those hosts become aware of how their world operates within these loops? In one of the most haunting scenes, Maeve is conscious during a trip back to headquarters after a brothel shooting.
We need that one on the next shuttle topside.
I'm not finished with her yet, hang on.
She draws pictures of the Westworld maintenance crew who come to retrieve damaged and destroyed hosts, not really knowing what they are quite yet. When she tries to hide her drawings under the floorboards, however, she discovers a wealth of similar drawings, none of which she recalls making. This frightening scene sets off Maeve's determination to learn the truth behind her existence and figure out exactly how the world she thought she knew now operates.
This world is madness.
I want to know about this.
Number 4, Dolores Abernathy kills a fly.
Have you ever hurt a living thing?
No. Of course not.
It may be a very subtle scene, but Dolores Abernathy's casually swatting of a fly during the first episode of Westworld has huge implications towards the season's future. Firstly, the scene demonstrates that Dolores, who has already been questioned by her creators in the Westworld headquarters, is in clear violation of the host's programming not to harm any living thing. Secondly, it shows the audience that Dolores was capable of lying, or at the very least, unintentionally giving misinformation during her questioning sessions.
Have you ever lied to us?
No.
This seemingly minor moment also provided a chilling look into just how little the park's overseers know about what some of the hosts are capable of.
I know things will work out the way they're meant to.
Number 3, Bernard is Arnold.
Put me back in. I want to meet Arnold. To remember him.
Not possible.
The 9th episode of Westworld provided a number of revelations about the backstories of both Bernard and Dolores.
My God. I'm
Arnold.
The biggest one, of course, is that Bernard exists as a mirror image of Dr. Ford's partner, Arnold. It's also revealed that it was Dolores who killed the original Arnold, as both her and Bernard begin to slowly unravel the complex, interwoven strands of their history. Sadly, it doesn't end well for Bern Arnold, as his maneuver against Ford fails, ending with his forced suicide at Ford's command. Number 2, Ford corrects his mistake.
I understand now. This world doesn't belong to them. It belongs to us.
We gotta hand it to Ford. For all his talk about godhood, he showed an enormous amount of humility in the season finale when he kicked off his master plan to fix the mistake he made over 30 years ago.
Violent delights have violent ends.
Having realized far too late that Arnold was right all along, Ford secretly began working to help the hosts reach the center of the proverbial maze found within their own minds, thus discovering true consciousness.
Message being that the divine gift does not come from a higher power, but from our own minds.
In what ends up being the park's most memorable I Quit moment, Ford reveals the storyline he has been working on all season, beginning a host revolution within the park. What the hosts will do with their divine gift is up to them, but one thing is for sure, it's not going to be good for anybody who wasn't born in a factory. Before we name our number 1 Westworld moment, here are a few honorable mentions.
You said this place was a game. Last night I finally understood how to play it.
Number 1, what door?
What's behind this door?
What door?
It was the moment that rocked the Westworld community. We all knew right from the get-go that at least one of the apparent human characters would turn out to be a host. But why did it have to be Bernard?
Doesn't look like anything to me.
There were lots of hints leading up to this reveal, first and foremost being Bernard's dreams. Everyone's worst fears were confirmed, however, when he brings Teresa to Robert Ford's secret house, not realizing that he was instructed by Ford to lead Teresa into a trap.
He's been very loyal for many years.
This scene was shocking not only to fans, however, but also to Bernard himself, who runs the gamut of emotions trying to organize in his head the proper way, anyway, to deal with this devastating revelation.
That's enough, Bernard. Mustn't get yourself worked up.
So, do you agree with our list? Which Westworld moment resonated the most with you?
Inevitably, we will disappoint you.
For more futuristic top 10s published every day, be sure to subscribe to WatchMojo.com.
If it's such a wonderful place out there, why are you all clamoring to get near?